Welcome to the Old World Fanatics, your Warhammer fantasy podcast to quench your hobby thirst for all things the old world. And I am back. I'm Gummo. I'm joined by Andrew and Josh. How's everyone today? It's a pretty good episode, I think.
Yeah,
pretty good. Yeah. Sounds like a good episode.
We are excited.
A lot of material to cover.
Yeah, because we all got games in.
Yep.
And we don't even have rule books.
Amazing.
Just winged it.
Yeah. We don't have any digital copies. We just went off Facebook comments and Discord group chats to work out how to play the game, didn't we? So not cool. So awesome. We're also running on, for those watching some of our YouTube content, you might have noticed we are running off some slightly different video software to run the video side of the podcast. So hopefully it's still going to be sounding good for those painting along or driving in their car listening to us right now. But yeah, it is a different software as of today. So I guess give us some feedback if it's good or bad, I guess. I don't know. I'm mostly happy with the choice, but I went through about 3 different ones. But anyway, cool. Now, you guys got anything you want to sort of cover, or do you want me to just give our usual shout outs first?
Shout away.
Sounds good. We are going to shout out our Patreons as usual, because we got an extra one from the home of Snotlings, Cameron Atkinson.
Hey.
Right.
Yeah, he said he loved what we've been putting out, and plus obviously meeting us at CanCon, and so he's become a patron. So we're up to 11. So and I did actually. So hang on, I'll go through it first. You've got Richard, William, obviously Cameron, like I said, Rob. We got I don't know who this one is. Flatberry Fudge Whistle. Did I say that? I don't remember reading that out last time. So I don't know if he's changed his name or anyway. Andrew, Kieran, which is Bobby Gherkin, Gumwich, Sean, Ritchie, Todd, Lloyd, and Jared, the OG as usual. Hopefully we might have Sean on the podcast, the YouTube channel later on the week. I've still got to sort that out. But what was that, Josh?
Flatberry Fudge. I'm sure that wasn't there last week. Yeah,
I'm thinking he might have changed his Patreon name or something, because I don't remember saying that. But anyway.
No, I'm sure you did.
Just so you read it out.
Yeah. I wonder if I can get the names onto this sort of system at some point. Because people just keep joining. It's really, really appreciated. It goes a little way to paying for things, and I actually did pay for some stuff. I pulled out a payout out of it and put it onto the. I don't know if it was this one or one of the other things we pay for. So that was good. So thanks, guys. Really appreciate that. I guess we're just going to throw. There's not really any news. It's been a bit slow on the old world. It seems weird. Every Tuesday I've been thinking, are they going to bring something out? Are they going to bring something out? But I'm sort of glad they haven't as well. I don't know what you guys feel.
I want the rule book to come to me first.
Yeah.
Get on top of it.
Yeah.
It does feel weird that we had this huge all this pace of stuff coming out, and we almost got used to it. Just overwhelmed. Like every day there was articles for a while.
Yeah.
2 articles a day, I think, in the lead up to the release.
Yeah.
Don't mind being able to catch my breath though.
Same. I think it's been good. I mean, the only thing I would like to see is a little bit more, obviously more stock. So we'll get in that in a minute. But also just some clarity around. You know how it feels like we know there's still other Bretonnian and Tomb King. Is there Tomb King stuff to come? But there's definitely more Bretonnian stuff to come out.
Yeah.
And just there's nothing about that. So that's the only weird thing. I'd like to know a little bit about that, but I can't complain really.
Yeah, some of the best models for Bretts that were recited about. Yeah, there's been no word of it whatsoever.
Yeah. And they've already talked about the orcs, but they haven't given us dates. So, look, I think obviously they're probably waiting for it to launch everywhere. So we'll go on to that, I guess. We got some shipping notifications. So Australia is officially getting stuff by the sound of it. And just today I got New Zealand shipping notifications for my New Zealand versions of the cards.
Did you? Right.
They replace certain things with sheep and, tum and foal and stuff. They have to change some of the languages in it.
Terminology.
I don't know if you guys ever watched The Late Show as tum. That wasn't The Late Show. Anyway, I'm probably showing my age, so I won't go down that route. So we got shipping notifications. So I don't know if that means stuff sitting now in Games Workshop at like Newcastle, and I can't get it until Saturday. It probably is. But
hopefully,
yeah,
hopefully
that's what I'm
that is.
hoping.
That's the best.
But
best scenario
for the
now.
stuff that's coming from the local game stores, Andrew, you got some annoying news today, did you?
I got a
Did
text
you?
message. Yeah.
Text message.
Yeah, the stock wasn't at the same level as what they were expecting is what's going to be delivered. So I've been bumped, unfortunately, until the next lot of stock comes in.
Right.
So that's the rule book, but I am getting my Forces of Fantasy from the Games Workshop.
Oh,
store.
okay. Well, that's probably not too bad then.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's
so I'm
only
getting
the rule
something.
book.
Yeah, so I'll wait on the rule book because I do like to spread that love and support Games Workshop and my local game stores, you know?
Yeah, yep. I think Frontline's going to get enough of them. I did contact them after you did, and they were totally out, so there's no use me going there. But it's right near my oldest girl's school. So, although she can drive to school now, so I think I talked about this.
Yeah,
it's
you
probably
go
going to
there
be a
all the time.
cost-saving measure for me because I don't have to drop her off. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I'd be buying stuff every time I dropped her off and picked her up.
It's always packed every time you get in there. I can't even get a car park.
You can't. It's so annoying. Yeah.
But
yeah, cool. So I don't know what that means because I've got orders at Gap Games. So do you, Josh, and I haven't seen anything.
All my rule books are coming through Gap Games. All my eggs are in that basket.
Oh.
So haven't had any word either way yet.
Yeah. No, same. So, well, look, I mean, worst case, it's another week or so, but hopefully it hasn't stopped us getting games in, which is what we're going to mostly talk about today. So that's pretty cool. We'll cover some hobby as well, but the other sort of news, and again, probably people getting sick of me plugging stuff, but we have opened up the YouTube channel heaps more and then started putting faction focus or faction reviews out if people haven't seen that, plus a couple of other old world topics because there's just so much to get through and it's exciting. And so I don't know, we've just been adding some more stuff, and plus it's it's another way to get our content out there. So if you haven't, I'm assuming most people listening to this as a podcast might know that, but if not, jump on YouTube. It does help us. So just so everyone knows, especially for the YouTubers, the podcast, the OG podcast listeners, we were trying to get to 4,000 public views on YouTube. So if you want to help us out and you don't want to become a patron, that's absolutely fine. What you can do is just go to any of our YouTube videos or even one of the playlists, press play, press mute, minimize the window and go to sleep and just let it just chew away. That would really help us because I think I've got 80 or 100 videos on that channel from years ago. So, there's enough videos there. If you're really interested, go back and watch some of the early 8th edition games and try pick out Andrew and Josh on them. That'd be funny. And if maybe we'll send you a free mini if you can tell us every video game they appeared in my garage or my living room at my old house. So anyway, enough trying to get free stuff out of people. Let's get on to it. So hobby. Let's not game-wise because we're going to talk about that. Did anyone do any actual miniature hobbying?
I'll start because
go for it.
Mine's going to be the shortest.
Oh, I was going to be surprised I actually did some.
No. Oh, no. I just started pulling skeletons off.
It's fun, isn't it?
So I'm just doing the cutting at the moment. So I'm pretty lucky that not everything needs to go on the bigger base, but I'm really tired about changing bases. Sometimes you get a bit bored of your base, and I'm like, oh, should I go? Because I was thinking doing a town rubble. You get that cool cobblestone.
Like a resin or a 3D print one, you mean?
Yeah, or you can just get the rollers as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's more work, and me and hobby at the best of times don't really. So at the moment,
really cool.
I haven't committed to either. I'm just pulling my skellies off.
Did you super glue them so they're not too bad to get off? Yeah, that's so lucky.
Bad.
Hey, I don't know if I've done that on mine.
Well, I'm pretty lucky on my base because I've painted my bases and then glued them on. So
they come off easy then.
Yeah, they come off really easy. So I've been pretty lucky because skeletons aren't the most formidable of models.
Yeah.
So I haven't had any snaps so far are the legs. I've been really, really fortunate because skeletons are pretty fragile.
That's one good thing about the old school Tomb King, like jazz hands and big feet. They're a little bit bigger than those vampire skeletons.
Yeah.
Or the vampire count skeletons. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you use plastic glue for yours, Gomo?
So I have in the past. So the stuff I've started pulling off now, they're either ones I didn't do. Like I bought like skeletons from Simon Turner, the Newcastle guy around here years ago. They're super glued, so I can snap them off. And then I was also snapping off. I don't know if you saw some pictures. People might have seen them on Instagram and stuff. There's like orcs there too. So people are going, what the hell's that? But basically I'm snapping off some AOS orcs that I was trying to rank up ages ago on 25s because I'll use those 25s for my, like I'm just trying to get all my 25s together. I've bought some, but I'm like, well, if I've got some lying around, I might as well just snap them off because I was going to put the orcs on 30s. Luckily, for some reason, they are super glued, but generally I use plastic glue. So like if I am putting something together and putting it on a plastic base, I'm a bit worried about my actual painted skeletons because I'm pretty sure I would have plastic glued them on. And so the other thing I was trying to do, I've just gone into my hobby here, is
that's my hobby.
Okay, cool. I've tried to. Some people were saying like the easiest way is just don't pull them, like just snap the edge of the base off, like go around the edge of the base and then glue that on.
Yeah,
but
I was going to say,
it's just really big. Like the guy's sitting on a fairly big thing, and I did one, and then I tried to put a fair bit of glue and more like sand around it, and it's just obvious that he's standing on a little mound. I'd probably have to build that up with crappy bits of base and then build it up further. And so I'm like, I don't know, I might just take the whole guy off. So that's the bit I'm worried about. I don't know.
I guess you can keep clipping and get right around each foot and then clip underneath and just take the hide off. But the more you clip, the more likely you are to snap the leg too.
I think, sort of you're right. But you know what? If it's just the bit under the feet, it wouldn't matter because, yes, he'd be high, but then everything around him would probably come up to his feet. So that wouldn't be too bad. It's the fact that the ground is also high and then it's not around.
Yeah. Or even if you just go around a bit and then you just use a file or some sandpaper or something and just take the height down.
You could just sit there and just on the flat table and just take some off. I'm going to try it with 20 because I've got 40 archers, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be using archers. So what I might do is start with one of the units of 20, and just start working through that. Like Andrew, I don't have to rebase a lot. It's really my archers and my tomb guard. And right now, I could conceivably be quite happy over the next 3 months playing Tomb Kings without the tomb guard. I could just get the archers done and then paint all the other stuff, and I've got an army that's all based properly, and then go through the tomb guard if I want to do it that way.
Fair enough. The other thing I was thinking is, if you've got a bit of extra height with the skeletons, that's probably not a bad thing really, because they're relatively small models.
Yeah, that's
anyway. So it's going to fit
because of the other
scale.
I bought the new on the weekend when I was out late on. When did I go out? And it was Saturday night, was it?
Saturday,
yeah. We were somewhere, and I was like just talking, and I was just on my phone. I thought, I think someone had messaged things were in stock, and I went, what's in stock? Oh, the new Herald BSB. So I just bought him. He's come from the UK, so I'll try get one of those new guys and see what he looks like. He's still a little bit crouched, so he's probably not too high. But I think you're right, Josh. I think the scale creep's going to look a bit weird.
Yeah. So you could, try to do that.
What have you been doing? I mean, I've got some other stuff too, but just back and forth might be good.
Okay, sure. Yeah. I feel like I haven't been doing very much, but
since obviously CanCon, you're just like flat out.
Well, I got focused on. I actually was printing quite a bit of things because I was trying to get a few bases right for the game that I'll play today, and just get a few things put together. Because I didn't really have, because I used the Bretonians and I didn't really have a unit of like archers. Like I have a unit of of squires that are skirmishers on 20s. But in the game I was playing out, I needed 2 units of the squires, so 5 each. So I had those, but I also needed another 10 or 13 actual archers. So I was printing off 25 mil bases for them, because I had a whole bunch of metal archers from Claymore Castings, I think it is, that I bought years ago.
So those guys, I thought they might have been the ones from Andrew.
Oh no, they're not Medbury. They're very similar.
Oh, they are? Okay, because I wasn't sure if you bought more. I know you bought the Bombard, but I wasn't.
I bought the Bombard and some crossbows from
okay.
Medbury.
Right. Yeah.
But I bought these medieval archers with lots of character. You know, there's guys like stringing their bow and pulling out arrows from the quiver, and you know, looking around or standing around with their bow like on their shoulder and stuff. It's like they've got lots of different little poses.
Yeah.
So it looks cool. Sort of semi-chaotic, which is sort of, I think, a good way for a peasant archer sort of unit to look. And if anything, they fit really well on the 25s. Because they are slightly, some of them are stretched out, or they're holding the bow horizontally. And
like a bit dynamic, yeah.
And if I had to base it on 20s, I think I might have struggled, you know, to have them all fitting. So actually, I think it works really well on the 25s. And there's plenty of space still on the bases that I'm going to fill it with grasses and bushes and bits of like barrels, I think, and stuff. Just have fun doing that. But yeah, I think there's a lot of potential there. So I was printing out bases for them. I was printing more base adapters for the lance formations. So I've got almost all that I need to do in that regard. But I was waiting on some magnets to arrive, so I can actually properly magnetize them up, because I used them today, but pretty much without magnets, and it was it worked pretty well. Like, it meant, because there was a whole lot of blunting of lances going on. So I had to change formation so many times in this game.
Spoiler alert, okay. We haven't heard anything about this game, everyone. So we're hearing it when you guys hear it. So,
It's the best way to do it, isn't it? Live reactions. So and that worked. It was convenient. I could just shift things around. One thing, I don't know how this will change when I have the magnets or not, but because my whole board is like pretty much static grass and like it's not flat, I'm not sure how easy it'll be to shift units around on, like, if they're just magnetized, if they don't have a solid underpiece, which, you know, I might end up doing. I don't know. I'll see how it feels just with the magnets. It depends how strong.
You mean like you'll start moving and it'll just break? The lance will break apart a bit.
Yeah,
anyway.
like
I
reckon
end up moving rank by rank. Sort of
I
thing.
think so. Yeah, I don't know. Like on a mat, I think it'd be totally fine.
Yeah,
but just the texture on texture on my board. I'll have to wait and see, because I haven't magnetized them all up, and the magnet's pretty chunky and high grade, so they might be okay. I'll just have to wait and see. But I might have to put like a thin like mill, like either sheet of metal or do some other sort of thin MDF or something underneath. I don't know. We'll see how it all works. So printing those out, and then I was also printing more Pegasuses.
Yeah, I saw them in one just at the bottom of the shot there. So, are they the same Pegasus models, or the other ones GW ones?
No, they're the same ones. So I haven't running any GW ones anymore.
Right.
So
you had them, didn't you?
I did have them.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Yeah. I actually sold them, just like a month ago. I just printed off some. I semi-regret selling them now, because I was kind of like, when I sold them, I was like, I'm not going to need a second unit of Pegasus Knights. I'll just get rid of them. I haven't used these guys in years. Next minute, suddenly I've got like, Pegasus Knights are no longer 0-1, and they're actually significantly better than they were in 6 ed. So suddenly I'm running 2 units of 3. So I was getting bases, and I sort of just quickly glued them on, so that I almost had to run a proxy for them, but I just
you got it cleaned up and printed enough, So
I could just run them as is. But I'll have to properly work on them and get them all sort of based up. The thing is, Peg Knights that I've got for 6 ed, they're all on 40s, and I've designed them in a way. It's 60 by 40.
Yeah,
and I've designed them in a way that they really need to be in that movement, the skirmish movement tray, to not fall over.
Pretty
much. So I I really have to think about what I'm going to do there. Whether I just
print another set,
and just have extra peg knights, or whether I try to do some kind of conversion. But I suspect long term I'd be better off.
The Brett's, you're screwed in a way. Like you need to rebase everything.
Yeah.
Everything but the mounted yeoman.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, almost everything else. Thanks, Colin.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Else,
yeah.
Screwed. And the thing is, as much as I wanted to rebase the heavy cavalry, because they're constantly changing formation, I'm still not convinced that just using a movement tray, like rebasing and using movement tray, is a better solution than what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be annoying either way. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
interesting.
I think that's it. I did do one other thing today. I was stripped off. I've got a little bit going on. I stripped the metal dark elf sorceress that I bought. So I've got her. I'm going to paint her up for the slow grow. That's in a couple of weeks because I decided to change my list slightly and take a second sorceress.
Okay. In the slow grow.
Yeah, in the slow grow. So I'm going to try to get her painted up before Sunday the following week.
Okay.
Yeah. Plenty of time.
Yeah, plenty of
time. Yeah, I actually I sold. I was umming and ahhing about selling that other casket that I had because it was the metal one, and I thought I'd rather get the newer redone one. So I sold it to a guy I hadn't met before. He hasn't come to Legions or anything. Just lives down just a couple of suburbs away. He's a bit younger, but I mean
right.
I don't know because I'm old. He's not that young. He's just normal. He's not a teenager or anything. He plays with a bunch of guys, and they're just sort of getting back into it and stuff. So might have some other. I sort of obviously told him about the channel and that we're going to try stream games.
Get him on board.
He bought the casket off me, and then I just gave him one of the other. I've got a few of those metal hierophants that I use, and so I just went. You can't get it at the moment. He's like, the issue's not the money; you just can't buy it. And I said, I'll just have this one. It needed a fair bit of stripping. It was someone else painted it. It was pretty crap. So, so he might be cool to catch up with games at some point. But yeah, he's still getting the whole army together. He's got nothing at the moment. So I talked about a little bit about rebasing there. I guess that's what I'm trying to work out. It's to my point around you having a rebase, Josh. It's like. I've sort of picked the Tomb Kings, even though because I have been playing them, but also I don't think they need a massive amount. So I feel like I might be able to. What I did start is I had a bunch of other stuff like some spearmen. Actually, they were sword and board skellies that I never used, and I'm going to break the right arm off, put spears on, and they were never painted or anything. So I'm starting to rebase them. I put together my other 3 bow sharpties. Basically the stuff I haven't assembled or painted, I'm just going to get it all done based for the right size, undercoat it all. So then it's ready to go. And then as I build lists, I can go, I do want that unit, and I can just paint it rather than sort of have to assemble and all that crap. So that's probably what I'm going to do for Tomb Kings. But I am tempted, I don't know if I've got time to try and keep up with the slow grow at Legions, Newcastle Legions Club.
Oh, yeah.
So they're doing 600 points by the end of the month. And I've pretty much all but decided that I'm going to use that as, I don't know if I'll do it by the end of this month, but I'm going to use that slow grow as an excuse to try and get my orcs either rebased / repainted / buy new ones, and build that one up a bit slower, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
What is it starting at?
600.
Oof, okay. That's a high step to start at.
Yeah, well, I did a quick list up just of stuff that I wanted to do initially, but then I'm like, it's more to paint. Maybe I'll just bring it back and add more magic items or something, so I don't have to, because you're not caring about being competitive at that level.
Yeah.
So I'll just see. That's why I am doing some of the AOS. I don't know. I think I'm going to use the AOS orcs and all the AOS night goblins and the AOS squigs, and just pretty much do a whole mostly newer stuff, and then mix it in with the chariots and stuff that I've already got, and see what that happens. And obviously I've got 2 spiders and all that, so they don't need rebasing. They're on the right size, I think.
Are they? Oh,
I think so. So the biggest decision will just be what I want to do with basing, like style and all that, sort of what you were talking about, Andrew. I need to, might as well change it up,
Yeah, Yeah, if anything, there's more onus to work on the basing because there's so much more space. Like, especially if you start talking about goblins and stuff.
Yeah.
If it's all just fairly blank and not interesting basing, I think it detracts from the unit a bit. So I think there's a lot of opportunity there for modeling, is what I'm saying. So you could make it really cool. If you put a lot of effort in, you'll be able to really appreciate it.
Yeah, that's really. And when I was when I bought all the squig stuff, I was contemplating doing AOS, and I was thinking about like caves, and I bought like heaps of 3D printed mushrooms and stuff. But with the orcs in them, I'll probably just have to think about how I can blend them together so they look the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy to do. I just need to decide which way I want to do it, You could easily have still field type, I'll probably do a lot more, sort of what you've done with your Brett's there, like a lot more sort of flock and bushes and stuff with mushrooms coming up. And you can probably do them on, the orcs don't probably need the mushrooms, but the rest of it will still match.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with having slightly themed basing around certain units as well. Like if you want to put more mushrooms around the night goblins, maybe have a couple around the orcs just to have a bit of consistency. But I think you could go quite heavy on them for the goblin units. So
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
With the theme, absolutely fine.
Yeah, so I'll have to have a bit of a play around with that. Yeah, and then we I bought a bunch. Like I've just bought. This wasn't a lot, but I've just bought the rest of stuff that I wanted for streaming. So hopefully in the next week or so, Andrew and I can test that out, which is like a proper overhead light with an overhead stand.
Did you get the C-arm thing that
Yeah. Yes. So and it's apparently pretty sturdy. So hopefully I can have the light straight down with the camera through it. Plus, I bought 2 other lights that you can turn, and you put them off to the side. They light up the idea is they light the table, and the overhead cam tries to knock out the shadows from those other 2. That's sort of the. I was talking to the guy who runs the 40K streaming, and that's what he does. So I'm like, I'll try that, see what it does. I think our mics are fine, and then that's it. And we'll just see if it. Yeah, if people want to listen to us try and get all the rules wrong for 4 hours.
We'll just have Josh on the side. He can be the rule.
Well, yeah, and I did work that out. I could probably sort that out where Josh, if he's around at the time, you could probably dial in. And I think those mics we're using wouldn't pick up you talking from the computer. Like I think it would work okay.
Yeah, nice. Yeah,
so
that sounds great.
We could definitely try it, even if we're not broadcasting that. Like one night, I could just see if it works.
Yeah.
I could walk around the room and talk, and you could talk and go, "Yeah, no, it's not feedback." Okay, cool.
Yeah, nice. Yeah,
yeah. So looking forward.
I'm not
to
sure
that.
how useful I'd be as a rules.
You could be looking stuff up for us. That's what you need to do at the moment. Cool. Anyway, that's just awesome. There's so much positivity, and obviously, like I said, we put out a vampire. I mean, it was Andrew. You just went, I'm going to do it. Do you want to do it? And we just jumped on the thing, and it was a good call because I think it's a pretty high performing video at the moment.
Yeah, I just like looking at those sort of videos sometimes.
Yeah,
just get like other people's perspective.
Yeah,
so it's good. So I just figured like there's a bit of an audience for it, for that sort of stuff, because it doesn't seem like there's a heap of people doing that just yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people don't even have the books, do they? That's the good thing.
Exactly.
I don't feel like Australia's behind. But I also don't feel like we're that much behind. I mean, people are only getting them now, and I'm like, okay, cool. If some of us get them this week because at Games Workshop, we're not really that far behind, which I was a bit worried we would be, but And on that point, Andrew, like people have been saying, and it's probably a bit true, like they're after good battle reports too, because a lot of the people who are doing battle reports, no disrespect to them, but a lot of people who got early access to stuff weren't like current fantasy players. Do you know what I mean? Like So there's a few channels that, good on them, they've put stuff together and played it and stuff. But I've seen a few comments of people going, look at these guys, like not us, like look at some other people that actually, it sounds bad, but they sort of know what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like they're sort of playing in that I don't know, that fantasy background, whereas the other ones they either never played it or they're playing with people who mostly have played 40K or whatever, and they just they got free stuff from Games Workshop. Why wouldn't they do it? But so I think there's a huge market for it, and I think there's a huge appetite. I like looking at them, so hopefully we can contribute there, and not just on the pods. So cool. That's enough. I don't know. Is there any other hobby? That's sort of what I've been up to, but
I think that's about it, isn't it?
Cool.
pretty
Well, do you
much.
maybe we go with yours, Josh, because I've been talking more, I reckon. And that way
Yeah.
you can kick
Yeah, I
your
wanna
game
hear.
in,
I wanna
and then
hear.
me and Andrew can wrap up our
Oh.
game.
It looks so pretty. The table, you had like the table set up, and it was just like, oh, I want to know what's going to happen. And you're going against Tyre. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was up against Isles, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, hold on, I'll bring up, where are my photos gone? Give me a minute.
And you should be able to share on that too.
Can I?
Yeah.
Oh. Ooh. Oh.
I think you can.
Oh, yeah. Share screen.
Okay.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if I do this.
It's pretty cool.
Does that work? Does that come up?
Yep. Well, I just got to click show on stream.
Oh,
Hey.
cool. There we go. Yay. Yeah, so that was the setup. Yeah, if you
So
built
pretty.
like 3 buildings in the center, there was a bit of a pond to the side of it. There was a forest on the other side of the board. So there was sort of multiple bits of terrain across the middle. And then there were a few hills scattered either sort of deployment zone and some other sort of impassable bits and pieces around.
Can I just say, when I saw this, I love you're making use of the decorative terrain rule with the little trees and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
I love that rule. Like, just put stuff around, but just
Just
move
put
it out of the way.
around.
It's
Yeah,
awesome.
just move it out of the way. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, because what I've done with our board, and you can probably see there's still some holes. So I've actually put depressions in
bring
the
it up a
actual
bit
board
more
itself,
for
so that you
viewers.
can actually, put the trees and stuff into the terrain rather than having it sit on top.
Yep.
This is like 30 mil like rings. With some
Yeah.
magnetized sheet at the bottom.
You know how you did the same sort of thing with the cows and stuff?
Mm.
Can you? Is it compatible? Like, can you go and put, like, insert one of the cows in one of those holes?
Yep.
Ah, cool.
Hey. It's not his first rodeo.
Some of
that's
them.
awesome.
So yeah, they're 40 mil cows. So some of those holes are 40 mil. Some of them are 32s. So it depends on the size. But yeah. So it's you totally put some cows hiding in there. So can I shift across to the next one easily? Oh, did that work?
Yep.
Oh yeah, cool. Okay, funny. So
Sorry, I'm gonna have to lean in here. Excuse my big fat head.
So I ended up, so we pretty much did a we pretty much did a battle line, I guess, because we were just trying to work out what the rules were, and it was all just pretty much just learning how the game runs. So you can't really see it in that photo, but he's got a massive unit of Sea Guard. So Nick's army was like, he had 38 Lothern Sea Guard with a mage and a BSB with a Reaver bow in it that he employed very centrally. And he had a prince, I think it was a prince on a griffin. Can't remember his loadout. He had a unit of maybe 6 dragon princes, some Illyrian reavers, 15 white lions, of course, and some sisters of Avalon. I think it was 8 of those and 2 bolt throwers. I think that was.
And then so he's got the griffin guy. Was he the general? Was he just a hero? And then he had the general was a Lothern Sea Guard. Like, how did that? Because I saw the list and then I'm trying to remember what it was.
I can't. I think the general was on the griffin.
Oh, okay.
I think because on the griffin you get an 18-inch.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, in Spearing. Yep.
So I think he was fine anyway in that regard. I think that was.
Actually, I've just found his list. The prince. Yeah, it was. The prince was on the griffin with the giant blade. What does the Seed of Rebirth do? Because he's got that on the Archmage as well.
I think he changed his list slightly to the list that he sent me the other week, actually.
Oh, okay.
So I can't actually remember what he had on the prince, to be quite honest. I think he actually changed the blade to something that had less armor piercing. I think it had no armor piercing. I think he was actually a bit disappointed by its effect, because I think he was strength 5 but no AP on the guy, which which brutally sort of it really affects you. It really affects his ability to penetrate. Essentially my list was because I should probably go through that. So I took the Duke with the
you lucky person.
What do you mean?
Keep going. Only
had
one who
this-
gets a better Lord character.
I had the same book for 20 years. I'm allowed some update.
That's some OP stuff.
Please. Give us a bone, please. So he had the Virtual Knight on the table, which gives him D3 extra attacks on the charge, and he gets hatred on the charge. So he's 5 attacks base, strength 5, so it's like up to 8 strength 7 attacks, re-rollings to hit, which is incredible. So I had him in the Knights of the Realm, which is a unit of, I think it was 9 Knights of the Realm, and then that was sort of central, and then I had a unit of 9 Knights Errant on the on my right flank, so on the near where the pond was. And they had the BSB in there. He had the Virtue of Impetuous Knight, I think. Yeah, so that gives him like extra charge range essentially.
But makes him impetuous. Like, does he have to have that to join Errantry Knights? Or
no,
not?
no, he doesn't.
Like
but I just felt like because the drawback was making him impetuous, and that Knights Errant are impetuous anyway.
Yeah.
Then you might, it's sort of you're not having to have a problem with that rule.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I had one unit of Peg Knights in front of the Errant, and then on the other flank I had the Grails, 6 Grails with a Prophetess in there, like a level 4 Prophetess on Elementalism, I think it was. And then I had further towards that, I had the actually not this photo, but there was a Trebuchet that I forgot to put down, but I plonked it down right after this photo. And then the unit of 13 Bowmen, and then the other the other Peg Knights. Yep, thank you. And then at the sort of the front of the center, I actually had the 2 units of 5 Squires that I'd vanguarded up, and the Mounted Yeomen that are also I was about to push them up as well.
Nice.
So just in terms of, because this is the first time you're playing the same army book and then getting a new army book now, like you didn't play 8th with a different army book than what you've been playing lately in 6th. So did you find, like, obviously you've printed some new stuff here. Did you find you just could fit more into the 2000 than usual?
No, not really.
Okay. So it's just a different list, like you've picked different stuff. You would have had another bus maybe. Is that what you would have?
In 2000?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have. Oh, no, because I had a second unit of Peg Knights. So normally I would only have 1.
Yeah.
So I think that's where my 4th small bus went.
Okay.
And then I spent more.
Yeah, the big lord.
More on the big lord as well.
Yeah. Okay.
So it ends up being a roughly similar size.
Okay. I just wasn't sure. Cool.
It's good.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say it works out. I think if I had more peasants, it'd end up being quite a big army, because the thing that's probably dropped the most in cost are peasants. Brets, because I think the men at arms have dropped a point to 4 from 5, but the bowmen have dropped from 7 to 5. So, if you're taking lots of peasants, I think you'd notice that.
Yeah.
Because there'd be a lot more of those on the board.
That levies rule's a killer, but isn't it? It's like it's nuts. Are they all levies? The peasants?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
wait,
so you can't.
Because what's levies? Is it? Yeah, you can't take the general's leadership.
Yeah.
They can use knights leaderships. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, if they're within 6, they can still take knight leadership. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, the levies is brutal. So, what happened with this game? So, basically, he actually moved up fairly aggressively on his first turn, and he has a lot of shooting, like the Sea Guard, because the Sea Guard, that unit, man. So it's got the Razor standard on it as well. So I think
is that just AP now? What is that?
It gives you Armor Bane 2.
Okay.
For shooting as well as combat.
Oh.
So then, so
does it give you any AP as well, or is it just Armor Bane?
I think it's just Armor Bane 2.
Okay.
I didn't actually read it. You were just saying it's what it does.
That stacks, right? So that'd be Armor Bane 3.
Yeah.
Oh, do they have longbows?
No, they got warbows.
Oh, warbows.
But the Reaver bow in there has got Armor Bane 1. So that one stacks to 3. So the Reaver bow is strength 5. And nasty. And it's shooting multiple ranks, that type of thing. But he's also got the 2 bolt rollers, and his mage was also shooting stuff as well. So where is it? I've got another photo here. Just blasting off my my squires.
Yeah.
How many photos have I got? Oh, okay, yeah, I don't have a huge amount of photos, but
That's okay.
how
Because you
this
probably have to
game-
describe it a bit anyway because of the audio people.
yeah, of course. So how this game went was, he actually took off quite a few nights in the first end just with his shooting. Like, I think he took off 5 or 6 nights. He took off most of my chaff as well. I think it was down to 1 unit of squires, and then the other mounted yeoman was down to 2 or something like that as well. The biggest thing really is that he cast Live Magic has a spell that you can be ethereal and the whole unit becomes ethereal.
Oh, right.
Oh God.
I wasn't expecting this.
No. That's nuts.
Because when I was across from that unit, and suddenly he's just ethereal.
Is that the Sea Guard? Or
Sea
who
Guard.
that?
The whole
Wow.
Sea Guard unit suddenly became ethereal.
Yeah.
I was like, interesting. Because I've got my ground knights on the other flank, but because of where the buildings were, and they were sort of across from the dragon princes, I couldn't really bring those across. And
Are
so
they
suddenly,
magical attacks, are they? Ground
the
knights?
ground knights have got magical attacks.
Ah, okay.
But
yeah, it's the walk between worlds, and they get reserve move as well.
And they get reserve move too, yeah. So he was shooting me and then like reserve moving and stuff.
Oh God.
And suddenly I was like, and then he put, I think he also had a template. I think it was a 5 spell or something that causes dangerous terrain and then like difficult terrain within 6 inches of the template or something. So he put that in front of the knights as well. But then I didn't really want to engage that whole unit because they were ethereal.
Yeah. Not gonna have that, is it?
Oh my God. So I didn't really engage with them. I did push up everything else though. So the peg knights, I shot up the sides. I think I actually managed the ones near the errants on the right flank actually charged the sisters. I think they were like 19 inches away. So I think I managed to just get them. Like it must have been quite high with my charge range. The re-rolling ones to charge, by the way, is really helpful for Bretonians. Makes them so much more reliable. On the other side, I think the Reavers fled from the charge and then he counter charge. Then my ground knights redirected towards the princes, the dragon princes, and the dragon princes counter charge. So they're actually charging each other, which was an interesting showdown, really, because both those units have 2 attacks. The dragon princes have a 2-up save as well, whereas Grails only have a 3-up. But Grails are tough 4.
And did he not have any impetuous issues with him because he's got those? He had the Reavers in front of him. Did anyone fail any of their impetuous stuff?
No one actually tested for impetuous because there was never a moment for that. Because the Reavers were in front, so they never actually had to test for it. And then suddenly they were countercharging, and every time they had the opportunity to charge, they were charging anyway. The rest of the game, pretty much. So I think we did a couple of wounds each. I think I killed maybe 3 of them. So I killed half the unit, and he killed maybe 1 back. But then he I think he either gave ground or fell back in good order. I can't remember. But then he had the Griffin go in the side, and the Reavers the Griffin go in the front of the unit, and then the Alien Reavers go in the side, and that broke the lance of the Grails. So the Grails actually, folded down into a square. So that was probably the first lance break.
Right.
What else happened? So the peg knights that charged the sisters, I think they caused them to give ground, and then the following turn Ashley was able to charge over the top into the bolt thrower that was on the hill behind them. So the peg knights are just, oh man, they were really good. Like having the furious charge to give them extra attack. They're now strength 4 base, so they're strength 6 on the charge.
Cool.
They used to be strength 3 base, with 1 attack each.
Yeah.
So they've really been amped up, and they got counter charge as well. They're so versatile. So I found those units really useful.
That's why you were going, why did I sell them?
Yeah, right. Because on the other side where the Growls were, I had the second peg unit coming up, and I was actually going for the bolt thrower on that side. But actually decided when all the Grails sort of got surrounded, actually try to put them into the flank of the of that whole melee.
Yeah.
Interestingly, like it's so weird with this whole game. Like I'm still getting my head around the rules, really, because like I think at that point I'd actually pushed the princes back. I think there was still maybe 2, maybe there were 3 left. And I actually pushed the griffin back as well because those 3 units, when they charged the grails, he rolled horribly. He fluffed almost all his attacks. So I think he killed maybe 1. And then my ground knights with their 2 attacks, each string 4 base. I killed all 3 of their reavers and essentially caused him to give ground.
Yeah.
And then I actually charged the peg knights on that far flank into the Dragon Princes, but then he was able to countercharge with them again. So I feel like in retrospect, maybe I should have been better off just going for the bolt thrower than trying to throw them in and try to help the grails. But I don't know. It's just weird interactions with the rules that you're still learning how the game plays.
Yeah.
In that side, eventually the princes actually ended up killing the questing knights. The Pegasus knights and the Griffin and the Dragon Prince end up grinding the grails down as well. Now, while that flank was going on centrally, this is a big error that I made. Really, is as I said at the start of this battle report, the prophetess was in the Grail Knight unit.
Okay.
Now that Grail Knight unit's been in combat pretty much since turn 1.
Oh, you can't cast spells.
And yeah, she had a bunch of spells.
Ones, but...
She had 1 assailment, which is like a D6 strength 3 hits or something, which wasn't really doing anything for me. And she couldn't really cast much else. But the biggest problem was that his level 4 in the Sea Guard was just merrily casting spells the whole game, pretty much with me having a limited opportunity to dispel at all because I'm constantly in combat, and you can't dispel anything when you're in combat.
Yep.
Guys.
Yep.
It was so...
Yeah,
it was so brutal. So he kept recasting his ethereal every turn.
And you're just trying to hope roll high double 6s on the 2d6.
And it's like it's a 10 to cast, but it's a level 4, right? So he just has to get 6 or higher, and he's casting it. And he gets a reroll for 1 casting roll every turn.
Yeah. Is that just high elf rule?
I'm not sure where it came. I'm not sure where it is. But he was re-rolling it.
Just
because I think he failed the cast at the first turn, but after that, so he re-rolled it, and then after that he just continued to cast it. So I think they were pretty much ethereal for the rest of the game. And he was shooting his magic missile and just shooting out like 5-up wars and stuff. I think we forgot that he can only cast in the front arc when he's in a unit, because I think he buffed the lines to 5-up, but we only realized it after the game and we were just chatting anyway. And he kept recasting the dangerous terrain effect in front of my night bus. Now, I hadn't got in the first turn because I was worried about the ethereal. And then after that, I was like, I don't have a choice. So I decided to charge. But he'd taken so many wounds, from his shooting, because in 2 rounds of shooting, and then he did a stand and shoot with a Reaver Bow and stuff. And by the time I got into the unit, I think it was just the Lord that was left. So the 9 Knights of the Realm that were with him had perished. So because I was like, I'm just going to throw him in because I can't think of anything else to do. Like, I might as well. And I think, he challenged, but there was nothing he could really do. I think now this is a question. So on the Lord's profile, it doesn't have first charge, but the Bretonnian Warhorse does have first charge rule. So I wasn't sure if that carried over. We played it as it didn't really matter.
Okay. I would imagine you would get the mounts, because that's the first charge, is that when they charge, they don't get their rank bonus.
Yeah, they don't get the rank bonus. Yeah. I wasn't sure if it carried over.
Yeah,
the only reason why I'm confused about it is because Errant Knights are on Bretonnian Warhorses, and Bretonnian Warhorses have the countercharge special rule, but Errant Knights don't have countercharge, whereas Knights of the Realm and Ground Knights have that in their profile. That's got me slightly confused. But yeah, I feel like the Night Lord would get it. I don't know. It's
all right.
But
it's inconsistent.
The Bretonnian Warhorse, is that a separate entry for the mounts, which is for characters, and that has it, whereas the errantry are just on Bretonnian Warhorses? Maybe, you know what I mean?
That's how it is in the book. So do you think that means?
Yeah, I think
be a character. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So he ended up losing combat. I think he didn't fall back. I think he actually fled because that's right, because they outnumbered him 2-1. But my last remaining yeoman, my mounted yeoman, I actually positioned 1 inch away from their unit. So when he tried to chase me, he actually just overran into the mounted yeoman.
Yeah.
Didn't help much because in his turn, then he actually killed the mounted yeoman and overran 2d6, and he ended up hitting my lord that was still fleeing. So
And just wiped it out.
didn't help me anyway.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
So the central hasn't gone well. The ground knight sort of held up for a while, but it's starting to deteriorate. On the other side, I made again the peg knights killed most of the sisters, and then got into the bolt thrower and killed him. So I jumped over the white lions, and I had the unit of errant coming up behind them with the BSB in it. Now this is something that I was still in 6 mode, guys. I kept forgetting to pre-measure anything. I was just like, look at this. Let me think about this like distance, without actually.
Yeah.
I was so not in the right mind frame. So I actually pushed the Aaron up, but they've got a massive charge range because they've got the impetuous virtue in the BSB that gives them like extra D3 with a max extra of 3 inches, so they can charge like 20 inches or something.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought I'd just push them up, because they couldn't. That turn they couldn't charge because the squires were in the way. So I pushed the squires out of the way. I just pushed them up a little bit further. Turned out in his turn, I pushed them within 10 inches of the white lions. So really, just a really dumb maneuver. Just without really considering the.
And you got a 10 off. They're movement 5, so you got a 10-inch
movement
charge
5,
off, did he?
So, and then he rolled the 5, 1
Yeah.
5 and a 2. So you managed to charge them in the front and blunted the lance again. So second blunting. And then he killed a couple. I think I don't think I fell back in good order. I think I only gave ground. I think I held his charge. And then the peg knights again came to the rescue because they killed the bolt thrower. They then got charged by the remaining 3 sisters of Avalon. And he did that only because I think he was getting them out of the way so the white lions could charge my errant, because I think that's also why I pushed them
Are
up.
the Avalon skirmishes, or you just
they're skirmishes.
They're
skirmishes. Because I think that's partly why I pushed them up, because there was 3 skirmishes in the way of his white lions. So I think I was thinking they would be able to charge anyway. But because my peg knights were just in range, they could actually they could just see the peg knights that were behind the white lions just around that side. So they actually could sort of charge the peg knights by scooting around the side of the white lions, which meant his white lions could then charge the errant.
Yeah.
So, but the peg knights I could counter charge though, because they got counter charge. So they could counter charge the sisters. They actually killed them, outright. And then they're able to rear charge the white lions.
So can you counter charge infantry? Is that right?
Yeah. Isn't it?
I don't know.
Oh, maybe not.
I thought you just counter charge anyone.
Yeah, I thought you could counter charge anyone.
Or is it only?
I remember different.
I might be getting confused. Hang on.
I've
got Old World index rule thing up here. Hang on, let me just keep talking, Josh. I'll let you know. But keep going. Yeah. Where is it? When a unit with this special rule is charged in the front arc by enemy unit whose troop type is cav, chariot, or monster, they counter charge.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, fair enough. I don't think it would have made much of a difference, really.
No,
but
not really.
Yeah.
Because they don't really get a charge. I guess you're getting a charge, like you're getting a higher strength.
Yeah, sisters.
Yeah,
You don't really need it anyway.
Don't do too well in combat.
Yeah, it was only 3 of them.
Yeah.
So where was I now? You've really what was my train of thought?
So
because then you must have attacked the white lions with those pegs, did you?
So you went in the rear?
Yeah, went in the rear, and then because they'd followed up into the errant knight, so then they got rear charged.
Yeah.
Which massively put the combat in my favor, really. I have photos. There it is. Yeah. So this photo is after.
Yeah, so you got the blunted errants in the front, and then you got the pegs in the back. Yeah.
Yeah. So those peg knights, I think they killed 6 white lions on the charge. There was just 2 of them.
Yeah.
I think that's
pretty good.
What? How much stomp? Do they have a stomp?
9 attacks on the charge. No, I don't think they got.
Oh, okay.
But they've got, the champ and the other rider, that's 5 attacks between them with furious charge, and then there's 2 attacks each with the pegs, 3 6 and 3 4. So They can actually put out a good amount of damage, and they're so versatile with their line of sight being 360. The fact they got counter charge, the fact they fly 10, incredible. This is the version of Pegnuts everyone thinks they are in 6, but they're actually not like this in 6. Everyone just thinks they're really good, but they don't hit that well. But in the old world, they are. If I could fit him in, I'd run units of 4 because I think they're just actually really powerful.
So he didn't kill that many errantry knights when he went in.
Not really. No, he killed.
Yeah.
There was a unit of 10 to start with, so he killed I think 3.
Oh, there was 10. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. There were 10 to start with.
I
think they might have lost one already from shooting.
Okay.
And then they were 3 down. Yeah. So I lost 3, and then I can't remember if I fell back or gave ground, but I think I might have gave him ground actually because it didn't really matter really in the end because he was striking ahead of me. But yeah, the Pegnuts killing that many, I think he fluffed his attacks a little bit as well, and then I think he ended up falling back in good order, and then I overran into him, and then killing them all out pretty much outright. So I actually won that flank. Everything else pretty much fell apart. His prince on the Griffin ended up going. Once he'd gone overran past the Grails that died, he ended up going to the Bowman. And I think the Trebuchet just panicked off the board. The Treb didn't do a huge amount this game. I think he killed 3 White Lions on a 2-inch scattered hit, and then he misfired the next turn and he couldn't shoot for 2 turns.
Yeah. And
then the 4th turn, I think the only target was the ethereal. So annoying.
Immortal elves.
So essentially at the end of the battle, I think all I had really left was because there was a couple more turns where he was just chasing things around a little bit. It was just the Peg Knights, and I think the BSB and the Knight Errant ended up dying later on as well. I can't remember what killed them actually, but now one thing that I realized, this is like we're having lunch after this game, and I was like, the Duke, because the Duke was sitting in Knights of the Realm, right? And in 6 ed, usually if it's in Knights of the Realm, I'm not paying for additional vows. And I was like, the Duke actually comes with the Grail vow. Like, it's a base, it's part of what you pay for. It's not an option. It's just it comes with a Grail vow. The Grail vow gives him magical attacks.
Right. Oh, so he could have gone in.
So I could have just gone in for turn 1 and just charged in.
Yeah.
Because he's probably killing 7 or 8 Seagull on the charge because he's strength 5 attacks plus D3, re-rolls to wounds, 2s to wound. Like,
I mean, the other thing is he could just try and eventually just get to the mage, could he? And just like kill the mage and stop that ethereal.
Yeah. Well, that, or I mean, either way. Like, I mean, because the thing is, once you're in combat, if the mage is in combat, he can't cast it.
He can't cast it anyway. Yeah, that's true.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So as long as he's in combat, it's not.
Unless if it's self, you can.
Oh, is it? Well, it is self.
Yeah,
it is self.
I think you can. You can do self.
Okay.
Assailment and self spells.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I thought it was just assailment. Well, yeah. I mean, regardless, it would have changed the dynamic of the central lane completely.
Yeah.
If I'd realized, it's such a dumb thing because I know Grauvow has magical attacks, and it's just that weird brain fart where I just subconsciously I didn't think he had Grauvow because he's not in a Growl Knight unit, and normally I wouldn't bother paying for that.
Do you think So how do you think he went?
So boneheaded.
I mean, obviously you forgot that, but how do you think he's going to stand up if he's not on the Pegasus as such? You know what I mean? Like you're paying. He's a pretty souped up lord.
Oh, the hippo.
He's not. Oh, is it a hippogriff that he's on, or is it a Pegasus? The new model, the Duke.
Was it a hippo or Pegasus?
That's on a lord. I mean, on the new.
Oh no, it is it's a giant Pegasus, isn't it?
Yeah. I was just wondering, like, are you wasting having him in the cav unit if there's going to be a lot of monster hammer, and lords running around and he sort of can't get to them?
Yeah.
Like, is that what you... Okay, yeah.
That's one of the things I learned, Colin.
Yeah, okay.
I was like, like this is a 6 ed list, really.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I haven't adapted it, and yeah, definitely one of the things I learned is I should be putting this lord on a monster. It's just so much more versatile, so much more mobile. The combined profile really makes it, feasible now,
survivable.
they're not going to get plucked off the mount anymore. So I think I absolutely should be putting that lord on a Pegasus or a Hippogriff. I'm not sure which. Depends on how much points I have. I'm tempted to go for the Virtue of Heroism, which is essentially the old heroic killing blow, because it's very frightening for a lot of people. Or I could stick with this one where, because the extra D3 attacks and hatred is a really nice combination as well. So, there's a number of options.
He's got a 2-up save re-rolling 1s or something, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got a 2-up re-rolling 1. So, I think next time I play, I absolutely will be putting him on a monster. I think I might even put the BSB on a Pegasus as well. And I think, I'm not sure, maybe
the Flying Circus Army.
Yeah, Flying Circus Army, pretty much. And then the Prophetess is never going in a lance again, because it just meant I was completely unprotected. And he was casting, all his spells every turn, like 4 spells a turn, just because he could. And I had 1 Fated Dispel, which is absolutely useless against a level 4 unless you're rolling like a double 6. And so I essentially had no magic defense, really, because she was constantly in combat, and then eventually she died anyway. It was a big learning experience in that regard. This is not 6 ed anymore. Like, it doesn't work like that. So I feel like I'd probably still run her on a warhorse, I think. I mean, I could put her on a peg or a unicorn maybe, but a warhorse I think would be fine.
And she can hang around the back of them and stuff anyway.
Yeah, as long as she's within 3 inches of a unit, and she could probably, if I have a few different units going around, she could just bounce between them a little bit. And I think, she'll be perfectly safe doing that. And far more useful, because, if I had some dispelling, it would have helped a lot. That's why I put her in the list, really, was the dispel. Like, I chose her lore at the last minute. Like, I didn't really know what the spells were.
Where did you end up? Well, she couldn't cast.
I used elementalism.
Yeah.
And I took the Bretonian signature spell that gives extra +1 strength and AP 1 to the unit.
Okay. Yeah.
Which reads as the whole unit. So I interpreted that to be it meant the horses as well. I'm not sure if that is valid or not, because it says the caster, her mount, and the unit.
I'm pretty sure, and I think there's a different rule somewhere that talks about effects to affect the whole model and stuff. Generally, unless it says it's not or something. There's something like
there
that.
is a clarification about
somewhere.
that.
I remember reading something like that.
Yeah, it's in all the character mount.
Right. Yeah, so I got that off once or twice, but it was sort of in the moments when the Grail Knights had forced the Dragon Princess and the Griffin to give ground, and then it was heading into my turn. So rather than follow up, I would, wait till my turn.
Yeah.
And I had the opportunity to cast the enchantment and then charge in.
Yeah.
So that was sort of the window where I had to do it. So I did cast that spell, I think, a couple of times during the game. I don't think I really cast any of the elementalism spells that I got. Either because I didn't have the opportunity, or I just forget that I ever had them. Partly it's because I didn't have physical cards to remind myself. Nick had printed off the books, whereas I was either just using my phone, or like I printed off the elementalism lore and I had on my army sheet. But that's the only sort of printed stuff I have, because I didn't really print off anything, because I had the books coming. Hopefully. This week. I don't know now.
We have to. I do have that bone to pick with you, Josh, about the books, because that was pretty funny. So you know how last week when we were having that debate about whether or not I should print them at Officeworks or not, I printed them on my printer. So I did run out of toner. So it cost me $160 to put a new toner in it.
That's not a bone to pick.
So I should have printed it.
Toner was going to run out anyway, right?
It's your fault,
actually, no. Like it's just the black and white. Well, they're not black and white. You know how they're that. I don't know. They've got a fair bit of texture. Like
Yeah.
that's that yellow color background to each page. So when you go black and white, it's actually a fair bit of black and white. So my black toner was probably at 80%, and then when I finished with it was
jeebus.
like a 10%.
Oh,
And I was like,
wow.
wow, yeah. And I was like, oh shit, I probably should just printed it off as works.
Oh,
So-
okay.
Scam
not
those
your
guys.
fault. You,
Oh,
I mean,
sorry,
in your
Colin.
defense, Josh, you actually did tell me not to print them at all because we were getting the books.
Yeah.
So, but I did print them out. But yeah, it's just funny. I was just like, oh, damn it, that was a waste.
One thing I didn't realize with this game is like, I know it's strategic with these mages, but it just shows you how it's like almost like a next level with magic and mages. The strategies involved with where you can actually put them, because
Yeah.
it's because they're kind of got to be within range, but obviously you don't want to put them in a unit that's in combat.
Yeah, there's that. There's the arc. I forgot a bit about the arc stuff after you just reminded me, Josh. So I don't know if, I mean, we'll get on to ours in a minute, but I don't know if I don't think anything was affected because of that. I don't think. I can't remember. But there might have been, certainly.
Yeah.
I don't know, you know.
Definitely. I was casting a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Although, anyway.
Yeah, it's super good. Yeah, the other thing was the AP. Like that's the other thing. Like, yeah, as I said at the start, like his Griffin Lord, he hadn't really put. I don't think he put any AP on him. He just had strength 5. You know.
Yeah.
So when he was fighting the Ground Knights, yeah, he was really struggling to penetrate their armor because I was just had a
I do like
save,
it's
which
added
is-
so much variability though, isn't it? Like like extra little things you got to think about or choose or. So I like it. It's just different. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's just so weird sometimes how like a lance is like 4 points, and yet to get similar stats from a magic weapon, it's like 20 or 30 points almost. Like you're paying a lot these magic weapons, you know.
They're
actually really expensive for what they do compared to the previous editions.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing necessarily.
I
just-
think
it's
there's
just
a bit
big
of
premium.
I think there's a bit of I think some of the Lord level ones, when I say Lord, but you know, like the ones that are over 50 points, they're often too pricey, but they've pushed them above that 55 whatever mark, 65, so you can't take them on the smaller ones. So maybe that's a deliberate choice.
Yeah,
potentially.
I think it's got to be. I think it's got to be. Which that makes it hard to justify the outlay, doesn't it? But
might
the
turn
thing
down
is, you
those
have a
monsters a bit.
yeah.
Those
I mean,
combos.
because if you're putting something like that on a Lord, it also you get more bang for that value as well.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
It's a multiplying effect.
Yeah. Cool. Should we go on to ours and then maybe because we're going pretty quick here in a way compared to what we usually do. It depends how quick Andrew and I go through this.
There's 2 of us talking now.
There might be, true. There might be enough time just at the end just to clarify any of those weird rules or anything like that. If you ran into anything else, Josh, maybe, I don't know.
Oh man, the rules were all over the place. So I feel like we played so many different things, probably completely wrong. I need to write down a table of when you can reform and when you can't, because
well, there's a video
so
about that on our YouTube channel.
Oh, right. Yeah. Maybe
which already has 2 things wrong on it. So, there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, but I'll redo it with one of you guys because where did
I like
my
that. I like the
screen
thumbs
go?
up in the videos. You're like
yeah,
rolling, and then you're like, they're good videos. They're good.
Yeah, cool.
So professional.
I'll need to release this battle report this week as well. But I thought I'll just wait till we run through it so the podcast listeners hear it. Cool. Do you want to? Obviously, I'm not going to go through all the slides because it'll take ages. Do you want to just run through your list, Andrew, and then I'll run through
I'll
mine?
run through the list. So my general, I was running the Master Necro. He's a level 4 wizard, because why wouldn't you? He's running a Mortis engine, which is pretty cool. I like the way that they work. He's got the Scepter, the auto-include Scepter of Denora, which lets him re-roll his Raised Dead. He's got Crown of the Damned, which gives him a 4-up ward, but makes him stupid. I was taking Dark Magic. And then I had the Strigoi Ghoul King, is a boss's guy if you run him well. I didn't run him that well. So I had him as a level 1 wizard. He had the Duelist Blades, which is game like another 2 attacks. He had the Flying Horror, which meant he was flying 10. Lord of the Night, which meant he could raise dogs, bats, all that sort of stuff. Had 21 zombies, 10 dire wolves, 27 skellies, full command. 27 skellies, full command. I don't even know why I bother bringing these guys. 3 Fellbats. I was running a Terrorgeist and a Vargulf.
A Vargulf. Cool. I took Tomb Kings, and then I don't know if I'm just trying to find the exact list, but I'll get it. It's pretty close. I've got 2 units of. Did I have 2? Yeah, 2 units of 5 horse. Actually, character-wise, so I had Tomb King on a chariot with the Conqueror's Blade, which I believe was the one with sort of 5-up killing blow type thing. I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or something like that. But it was only
Believe
against
so.
monster, and like it didn't affect something when I got in combat. I can't remember what that was, but is that right? I can't remember. Anyway, then Talisman of Protection is just a 5-up ward. So he's got like a 5-up or 4-up. I think it's a 5-up save, 5-up ward, 5-up regen on his chariot with 7 wounds or whatever he ends up with. Royal Herald on a chariot with just a BSB, pretty much naked otherwise. This is my problem. Went 2 wizards, like Leech Priest, but like a level 2 and a level 1. Level 1 was Ruby Ring of Ruin on a horse, and then the other guy was the Cloak of June's guy, Necromancy, which I made a mistake with, Andrew. Like you can't put him in a unit because he's Cloak of June's, he flies.
Oh, okay.
Was that a 6th rule too? Because I was doing that a lot in 6, putting them in the unit. It's a rule that if it flies, you can't put a flying character.
Yeah.
Can't put a fly in a fly. Is that a 6th Ed rule, or was I just doing it wrong in 6th? Or?
I don't think that's a rule in 6.
That's good. So I didn't cheat too much at CanCon then. Okay, cool. I mean, I did fly him out of units, so he wasn't always in a unit. But yeah, I guess let us know in the comments, guys. Then, 20 archers, like I said, 2 units of 5 skeleton horse archers, which are cool because they've got the reserve move and all that stuff. Vanguard, and then 4 skeleton chariots. Then the picture you can see at the moment is those snake guys. I was playing them as Necropolis Knights because I haven't painted them yet. You can get units at 2 now, so I just wanted to try. Basically, I just wanted to try some new stuff. So I got those. 3 bow sharpty dudes, 1 tomb scorpion, which I did ambush, I think, although I didn't really ambush that great, and then a necro sphinx. And so just while I got on the screen there, basically I had horse archers out on left to right, horse archers, the Necropolis Knights, the bow sharpty, then the bows in the middle with the Hierophant in it, like in a forest, like look sort of pretty much straight in the center, with my big necro sphinx behind that sort of forest because he can fly. So I wasn't sure which way I was going to go, and then the chariot with the king out on the right, and then I think Vanguard was I took one of the skeleton units with my wizard up to this central sort of impassable that we had, just so I could get in range for like fireball. That's what I was thinking, and then my other left unit of bow guys just went out to the left, and then I think Andrew, how did you set up?
Yeah, so on the very right I had my dogs. So next to that, top left of the screen is where I'm starting from. I had my bats, giant bats. Spoiler, I didn't put them in a very good spot. You probably can't see them, but in that wood forest, I've got my Strigoi Ghoul King, who's running very solo and naked. And then I had my Vargulf smack bang in the middle. I had my unit of zombies. Spoiler alert, I kind of stuffed up this deployment too. And then I had 2 units of skeletons. And then my Terrorgeist on the left, and up the very back is my Necromancer sitting on his lovely Mortis engine.
Yeah, behind sort of one of the big units of skellies.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was I can't. Did you get? Yeah, you got vanguards too, eh? Like you moved
Yep.
up your dogs or something.
Yeah, push my dogs up.
Yeah, and then I think you went first. So do you remember what you did? I mean, I probably got pictures after your turn one.
So if you want to do that one. So I'll push my dogs up quite aggressively. So obviously my Ghoul King can fly. So I sent him straight forward. Obviously looking to go straight into your snaky Necro Knights. I've sent my Varghulf straight forward as well. I was a little bit hesitant because you had the Necro Sphinx is a monster killer, so I was like, but you started going right, so I was like, oh, I'll just go straight forward. I sent my bats over to cover for, because the problem I've got is I've got no mobility with these big blocks, so I wanted something that could possibly, and it did end up coming in handy, be a bit of a chaff cover for my general on his Mortis engine. And then I just basically move my zombies up, I move my skellies up, and I move the Terrorgeist. Not too full on, just trying to obviously see where you're going to end up. So yeah, did you want to go into your? Oh, hang on.
Did you get any magic off or anything? Not really. At this point.
Nah. I might have buffed a few things possibly, but yeah, nothing major magic wise.
So one thing, just to like reiterate Josh's point, like I didn't have the issue of getting a person in combat not fighting. My issue is, you just need a minimum level 3, if not a 4, unless you've got, you could do a level 3 if you've got some magic items that buff your stuff. But I just, like you, Josh, I basically didn't. It's very weird for Tomb Kings. I was not used to this, where I basically didn't contribute to the magic phase at all.
Oh, wow.
But I think I got 2 spells off or something all game, and probably hardly dispelled anything.
Yeah, because you say level 1 to level 2? Is that what
and so the horror necromancer was probably never in range, and the other guy. Eventually, I worked it out, and I got him out of range of his dude, so I could fireball some things. But even that's not guaranteed with 2d6 plus 2, and he's still rolling a fated dispel.
It's interesting, isn't it? How important having level 4 dispel is.
Yeah, it's almost unfortunate because it's so much money just going into being able to play the magic phase, like as in like you're almost
points and stuff. Yeah,
it's I don't know.
It is a shame, isn't it?
It is, but the only other thing, the thing that does for both these armies, I think, was sort of good is some of our stuff is not magic. So like our healing and our some of the the Tomb King's movement initiative buffs. It's not potent like 6th edition, but you can't stop it. Yeah. Because it's just a leadership thing. So I guess there could be an argument to say, well, I don't really care too much about. You're going to get spells off, but I'm still going to be able to do things. But then the issue is if those spells are going to make you lose the game, then it is. You need to bring the level 4 still. So
that's it. You might just see people just cut it away and just say, nah, I won't even bother. I might put something towards maybe trying to take down your magic or get your magic into combat.
Concentrate more on just getting into the units that have the mage and Guess we'll find that out. But it was definitely it was definitely different. Felt like a much different army than what I've been playing lately with 6 Tomb Kings. That's for sure. Where I'm usually just like ruthlessly dominating the magic phase most of the time, except when I played Richard the other day. So my turn. I mean, I guess it probably worked out fine, but I think we even joked, like he kept the Terrorgeist back, so I just pushed my chariots. I just thought, well, the Terrorgeist is the only thing that can charge, I think, at that point. So I pushed my chariots up and I brought my Necrosphinx over, flew over. So basically my view was I was going to try and get a double charge off, hopefully into that middle unit, because I think there was enough of a gap. Like, again, maybe I did measure it, did I? I can't remember. We talked about it at one point. I was like, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to go in there. And it was one of those things, first game, you're like, I just want to see what this does. Am I doing a dumb thing here or not? I have no idea. On the left, one of my horse archers went out and used that reserve move to basically moved up, shot. I think I killed one dog and then the reserve moved out of his arc, which was
nice.
fun. So that was a cool thing. And then I brought my other fireball dude with his other horse archers back because that Vargulf was coming up. And I just didn't really move back up there. I just gave him a long charge, but it's, that wasn't ridiculously long given how they both fly. So it wasn't really, I couldn't get out of the way, so I just had to deal with it. I did turn my bow shafties to try and shoot someone. I can't remember who. It must have been your Ghoul King, was it? And yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah.
I rolled because these guys they're pretty cool. They hit on fours. They hit on fours, strength 6,
Yeah.
AP. Is it AP 2 or was it AP 1, armor bane 2? Something else. They're
Multi-wound too.
Oh, multi-wound 2. They're AP 1, multi-wound 2. So I mean, that's why I'm paying up another 3 because I mean I don't know if you'll fit them in a normal list all the time, but I feel like 6 strength 6 hits hitting on 4s with armor bane 2.
You're gonna see monsters around,
You can sink, like if I could knock off half a wounds off a big monster, he's suddenly a lot less scary.
Sure.
So I proceeded to roll, I think 3 6s.
3 6s.
That was really good, and then rolled 1 1 and 2 to wound.
Oh no!
Okay. And how many wounds does he have?
He's 3. 3.
Yeah, so like I could have killed him. That one shot, turn 1, and I did that. I was like, oh, damn it.
Yeah.
Because then he proceeds to, do a charge in his turn. So I'll try and find a shot that just has all the turns again. I probably don't. Anyway, he goes in. I mean, you can probably talk through your next turn quickly.
Yeah, so obviously Gomo's behind me with my dogs there. I failed my charge with my Vargulf. As you can see, my Ghoul King got in, which is a good thing. I've started raising some zombies, as you can see.
And when we didn't pick this up, but it went into marching column.
It went into marching column, all right.
Oh, right.
Doing the old just raising back. So yeah, obviously you want a wide unit.
Wide it, yeah.
Because you can't declare a charge. You can declare a charge, but you can't charge in that either, which is funny. It's a weird rule.
What?
Yeah.
You can declare a charge.
You can declare a charge in marching column, but you can't charge. So anyway, keep going.
Is that where the drilled rule is supposed to come in?
Probably. That's the whole debate.
It's so
and people
vague,
are going, but
isn't
you're not charging, so therefore
there
you
is a
can't
big
use drilled.
debate.
And other people are like, that's the idea of it. And then anyway, we'll get an
Yeah.
FAQ.
So maybe that is the idea. Maybe that's why you can declare a charge.
Yeah.
Needs more FAQs coming out ASAP.
For sure.
So yeah, I pretty much just stayed back here, just awaiting my fate. Bought the bats in front of my Necro, as you can see, and probably off camera, my Terrorgeist has gone off to the side.
I'm not sure I had a picture of that. Yeah, he's flying around sort of almost the back, or trying to.
Yeah, this is where I've sort of had a bit of a boo-boo with the Terrorgeist. And this Wailing Dirge attack that I get is basically, it doesn't work when you charge in and doesn't work when you march.
Oh, that's right. You flew right over and then you went, I can't do it. Yeah,
it actually really limits its capacity. So basically you need somebody coming into you to use it within combat, or only be able to take your normal remaining
10
moves.
inch.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Whatever it is. Yeah.
9 inches.
Yeah.
Which really sort of limits your capacity to, move around, get behind a unit, scream sort of thing. I didn't pick that up until probably, when we went to look it up, like halfway through the game, and then it was like, oh crap, I can't even do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was it. And then we weren't in combat. I think I've thrown out some
you debuff.
debuffs.
Yeah, you definitely did this a couple of times on my chariot. Got them down to strength 3, toughness 3 chariots. Yeah.
Yeah, -1 strength, -1 toughness, and I think I was throwing out that template on your skellies, skelly archers.
Yeah.
And that was about it. I think that's my turn.
Yeah, you killed a few. That was probably about it. Yeah. Well, in your turn though, your Ghoul King took out my 2 Necros straight up.
Yeah, and dead.
Didn't have back. So
Now
it's
it's
like,
just sitting there all by himself.
oh, if those bow sharpties had hit, they would have had to get 2 through though, I guess, to even have a chance of killing him. But
Yeah. It's a bit lonely and naked out there.
he was good. My turn to I basically, because his dogs he sort of ignored my bow. Like I guess there was nothing you could do. You couldn't charge them, so you just for my horse archers. So your dogs just moved up a bit. So then I got, because they're skirmishers, I went in the back.
Yeah.
And then I got my double charge off with my Necrosphinx and my chariots, even though they're debuffed, into those skeletons. Just the idea, I just wanted to see what they could do and hopefully do enough, damage to crumble the unit and see if I could push it through to those bats. That was the whole idea. I think that was
Bushka.
I can't remember. I obviously don't have a picture here, but I can't remember if I got him in that turn or not.
I think it was a following turn. I think it was my turn.
Oh no, Tim King.
Oh, did you? Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
sorry.
must have. Sorry.
Yeah, you got into the bats. That's right. Yep.
That's not the right. This is not the right picture that I'm just showing here. Anyway, no one can see that. So I knocked his. I got him down to one dog with crumble with the bows that charged those guys in the rear, which was pretty good. Yep. And then I did get enough crumble, and this is this weird overrun thing that we.
Yeah.
Just the way the zombies were positioned, because there was a slight angle. If they just both overrun straight, the Necro couldn't fit at all.
Yeah, it was a narrowing angle, so he wouldn't have been able to fit. But he kind of clipped.
But I con zombies.
Yeah,
so,
clipped the side of the zombies, if you get me.
Yeah, so we played it as in, well, that means he goes into the zombies, but we weren't sure because there's this rule about like nudging things if they're in the way and stuff, and like we weren't like. Anyway, we played it this way. I don't know if it's right, but basically the chariots overran into the bats. And the Necro sort of went to run in, hit the zombies, and was in the flank of the zombies, and so like pivot, like turned him into the side, and that's as far as you can make it up because the chariots are there. So I don't know, Josh. Like that's a weird one. I'm not sure if that's the
because we had the unit
the original
boundary
model
rule
sitting.
Just next to the chariots, I guess.
Yeah, so it was lined up between the zombies and the skeletons. But they were kind of the frontages were like that at the bottom of my hands. Sorry, like that, if you get me. So when he's gone forward, he's clipped the zombies first.
Yeah. I have no input.
Yeah, I know. We don't know.
I have no idea.
And there's nothing about unit boundaries that we could find either.
Yeah, that's where we started thinking about unit, especially on this next turn for Andrew as well. But I don't think there is, so I think we were right. But well, anyway, it is what it is. So that was good. I mean, knocked that unit out. Must adjust. It was down to like 1. Hey, like it was right on. I think we added it up twice and went, just got it.
It just took that last guy off.
Yeah. Wow. Then Vamp turn 3.
Yep. So charge wise, I've gone forward with my skeletons on the left. There was like I said, the turn was a bit funny. Just because it's that maximize and the unit boundary as well was sort of coming into it. But this is kind of where we ended up. It kind of wasn't clipping both chariots.
Yeah, because you didn't say this flanking skeleton unit, because there was 2 skeleton units next to each other. I've killed one. The other one's flanked my chariots, and just the way it was, he basically was against 1 chariot, not 2, because you couldn't sort of get around. Or did we play you could, and then there was a clip? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was just basically I think it was the unit boundary was like playing silly buggers, so I could flank, but I couldn't get into both your chariots on your flank. It was only the rear one.
Yeah.
But if I could turn far enough,
you could
then I could. So we just played it that I did in the end.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, which I think is probably right because we couldn't find anything about unit boundaries. So basically, when he did the full charge pivot wheel, he went into my unit boundary to sort of get more around, if you know what I mean.
So I could hit both models instead of
both models.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was just the ability to wheel was the whole, because I was so close.
Oh, but
It just,
as in
it's
you
got-
were going over his base. You mean?
I was
Yeah, but
going
there's no
over his
base there
unit
because
boundary.
originally my chariot wasn't
yeah.
there. They were in the middle of or wherever.
Yeah.
The chariots were to the left, actually.
It just got really messy. So we were just like, oh, I think there was maybe, a third of a base in there, and me and Gomer were talking about it. He was happy, so I'm just like, oh, I'll put it in.
Yeah, I don't care. It just meant I had one more guy. He had more guys in contact. I don't know who it benefited. It probably benefited me, did it? I can't remember.
Oh,
'Cause
well,
I get some attacks back? Or
I was a little bit worried about what was going to happen because of if I let your chariots go,
that's right, because you kill too
I
many
would have
and then
had
you're not in
no
combat.
more foes, and
That's
then
right.
you would have been free to run forward as well.
That's
So,
right. That's why lock me in combat. Yeah, that's right.
yeah,
Yeah.
so we were both looking that up, and I was just a bit, because obviously once my Necro's gone, it's game over.
So you
anyway,
got your Mortis engine out of there because he was behind the bats, but he can get out of there with his chariot.
but he didn't turn out to be in the best position either. So I moved him out of the way of the chariots anyway, just to, for whatever reason. And then I sent my Vargulf on the left flank, went into his Sharpties.
Yeah.
I did a flank charge.
I don't think I got a picture of that one, but yeah.
His Sharpties were basically facing my Ghoul King, which meant that I had a flank charge. Yep.
Yeah.
Which you can see
That's
there.
actually the next turn, but yeah, you can see basically, yeah. Because
was that the next turn?
Yeah, it is. This one is, yeah, but because you originally only had there was 3 there originally. I skipped this one, so I wanted to show you in combat. The bats obviously died.
Yeah,
and then I ended up pushing you. I won with my Necrosphinx against your zombies and pushed them back because it was your turn. I didn't follow up.
Yep.
Which was cool. And now, having learnt the reform video that I did on YouTube, this is the one I missed out and got wrong. So what I've done is I must have beat your skeletons.
Yeah, you did.
Because I killed the bats as well and all that. There was one big combat. I won the combat, pushed his flanking skeletons to the right, and then there is that thing around, well, if you push them back, you can turn 90 or 180 degrees.
Yeah, well, to me, you'd be following up on my...
Yeah, but...
you can't pull up sideways, can you?
It's not a pivot, it's a turn. And a turn, like in 6th, is I should be 2 chariots wide.
2 wide.
Which I don't even know how you can fit that in because my Necrosphinx is there and all that crap. So it's a mishmash.
That's the real headache.
Yeah, it's not only a headache, but I reckon a lot of people are going to miss that. Someone had to comment on my YouTube video to point that out. I mean, oh, you are right. It's a turn, not. So if you're
so it's wrong on your original YouTube video about reforming. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it's one of the mistakes I made. I pivoted the Black Orc to my video. Which is actually incorrect. It ironically, it's not technically because my Black Orc unit is 5x5, so it technically doesn't make a difference.
It would have worked out.
And you can make way with characters and stuff.
Your champions all go to the front.
Yeah,
anyway.
so it's not technically what I'm saying in the video is wrong. Yeah, I'm saying it like how I've talked about it in the video is wrong, but what you're looking at is probably technically right. But what you're looking at in this picture, for those who are watching on YouTube, my chariots shouldn't be 4 wide there. I don't know how I could have even got them. They should be 2 wide, but then I don't know how I would even
2 wide
fit.
in a column. Yeah, I don't know. Because, when they're asymmetric bases.
Not only that, you turn into marching column. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know what. Anyway.
Why would they have it like that? Like, that just seems...
I don't know.
It just seems ridiculous.
Yeah, this way seems more logical. It does. Even though it might be against the rules. But...
Yeah, so that's an interesting one.
Yeah, for sure.
There wasn't really I've missed out on a lot of, in these pictures, turn 3 Tomb King, so I don't think there was a whole lot. I think it was more just combat.
He couldn't charge my Necro because my frontage was behind the zombie unit, basically. So that's why he didn't go into me.
I've sort of flew around here. But this is the interesting part. Like, you're flying around as a monster and you still have to wheel and stuff. It's not like 8th where you just pivot, move, pivot. I'm actually wheeling and moving around. And so they're a lot less maneuverable.
Yeah.
So you got to watch that a bit. And obviously they get these end pivots and stuff, but 90-degree turns or whatever. But yeah, they are a little bit trickier to work out.
To move around, yeah.
And he's flying too, so he can sort of move around too. So it's kind of funny. Anyway, so yeah, your turn 4 then, I think, because you killed one of your Sharpty and I held on the other thing, but that was all I pretty much did.
Yeah, so I was looking that this wasn't my zombie unit, was it? Did my zombie
It's
unit
probably
go
your
there?
chariot going
Yeah,
in.
I thought it was
Yeah,
a
sorry,
chariot.
it's
Yeah.
just the thing's wrong. Yeah.
So I was things weren't looking too great for me at the moment. So I was like, hoping for a bit of a Hail
YOLO.
Mary. Exactly. So I was like, let's see how this chariot has. So I threw the mortis engine in.
Into
Again,
the rear of my chariots.
Oh, yeah.
rear of the chariots.
Why not?
Waiting for this wailing dirge that I couldn't do because I charged. So I sort of, I don't know if this is when I figured it out. I figured it out at some point.
You know what, Andrew? I may have missed a rule here because I definitely was using the Indomitable a little bit, which was good. That's that one where you don't crumble. My BSB has the D3 non-crumble too. Did I ever roll that?
I don't think you did.
No, there we go. Oh, damn it. Oh, well, it didn't make a difference because I was winning these combats, but damn. Okay. Got to remember.
Yeah. Well, one thing I didn't realize, the Mortis engine and the Coven Throne, the Spirit Horde get lances. I was like, that's actually really good. Probably not for the Coven Throne, but it's better than nothing. But for the not for the Mortis engine, but for the Coven Throne, I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Anyway, so I think I whiffed a few attacks. So obviously I'm still in combat on my left. I think my dogs died at this point, or maybe they've been long dead. So my Vargulf, I think I'll go off that picture. I was just banging away. I think we might have whiffed at least once. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Terragheist.
Your
Terragheist came in.
Yeah, turn 4, your Terragheist went up the bum of my Sharpties because I think I only lost one and because they were only crumbling by 1 or something, or 2 maybe.
Yep,
so your Vargulf was doing damage and getting them, but it was slower. So then you sent the Terragheist in.
Yeah. And your Scorpion was facing...
Oh, so yeah, that's what I did miss.
away.
So on my turn 2, I did bring him up from an ambush, but there was just nowhere to bring him up. The best place I could bring him up was back up in my lines to see if I could eventually get in combat
facing my Terragheist, wasn't it? Yeah.
But the thing is, they can't charge when they come up. I know everyone's raving about them still, and they are. They're scary because they're monster. They can kill monsters and stuff. But I'm not 100% convinced. I think they're going to be more useful for things like either keeping them with your troops and just moving them normally and charging and stuff, or bringing more of them and trying to get them behind the lines for war machines and stuff like you usually do. If you're trying to just bring one up an ambush to try and take on like a fly, they're just never going to catch a flying thing. So they're only 3 wounds now, so they're a little bit more squishy slightly. They're still good, don't get me wrong, and people are scared of them because of they can kill a monster on rolling a 6. So
yeah. One point I forgot to notice, as you'll see in the top of the screen, is my Mortis engine failed to get into the rear of his chariots, which was actually quite a close charge, I believe. I might have only got 2 or 3, and remember, I went into the middle of my zombie unit and had to pop out the other side.
That's right.
Yep. So he's not even in combat currently.
That's right. That's right. Which leads to me destroying and popping the rest of those skeletons and turning around.
Yeah. So it wasn't going to be a good day.
Yeah.
But I believe I took out your...
sorry, hang on. Oh, no, that's right. Don't worry. You're right. Yep, keep going.
Yeah, I think I took out your Sharpty and...
Yeah, and you overran into...
Yeah, the Skellies.
Horse archers.
Horse archers, sorry. And old mate's still facing your...
Yeah, so you overran with the Terragheist and the archers, and your Vargulf restrained, and he can get a charge off potentially, or start trying to get that Scorpion.
Yep, which isn't facing me, so he can't charge me next
Just
turn.
at the top of the screen, it looks like on my turn 4, I also, because the chariot ran off, your Mortis engine charged, I ended up charging the back of your zombies.
Oh, correct.
Friggin', I might as well just try to get rid of this unit.
Yep.
And then I charged in with, well, because that's right, that was your turn 4, and then my turn 4, I went in. Necrosphinx went into the zombies, and my chariots went into your Mortis engine.
Engine, yeah.
But in the front.
Into the front, yes.
Yeah. Knocked off half your zombies.
Yep.
You must have charged in. This must be turn.
Yeah,
got that wrong.
So I took off your horses, I reformed, and then you turned around. So I took off your horses with my Terrorgeist.
And then
I
you turned around and charged.
Yeah. And then so you turned around to face me, and I charged you with my Terrorgeist and Vargulf onto your Scorpion.
And wiped it out.
Yep. And I had a few wounds on me at this point. What was it?
Yeah. Was that from me hitting back at stuff, or did I get some magic off? I can't remember.
I think it was, because there was a bit of magic going off, just pipping away wounds. So you took
fireballs probably at that point. Yeah. So I was getting a few fireballs at that point. I basically got my horse, my mage with the ruby ring, and got him out of the 4. Well, you can't dispel now anyway, because I don't know if you were or not, but you're in combat, so I can't remember if we're doing that wrong, potentially.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
I was pretty far away anyway. So I was down a couple of wounds on the Vargulf, and the Terrorgeist had 1.
Yeah.
So your turn.
And then in combat.
Oh yeah.
I think I just did some damage. You did some damage, and then in your turn 5, I got your zombies down to 1, and then I ended up killing. I think I got your necromancer by your turn 5.
Yep.
I think.
Yeah, he popped finally. The ward save was pretty good, but obviously, just.
That's not Tomb King. That's Vampire turn 5. I'm just trying to shoot your. Yeah, it's just Fireball and there's Terrorgeist, but then I did pop. So my turn 5, I popped his zombies and his Covenant, or whatever it's called, the Mortis engine, and then I think at the end of the game you did a test. Your Vargulf went into my archers and tried to kill as many as they could.
Yep.
But the Terrorgeist didn't. I can't remember why, but then eventually you did realize he has to take his instability test.
Oh, that's right.
And you failed it, and he died.
Yeah, because there's not the dark. I forget what it's called, the Dark Coven or something like that. And he needed to pass a 4-up leadership test.
Yeah. And then all that's left was your Vargulf attacking these guys. And did he eventually pop? Or did he...
Oh, no. Yeah, he died.
I think I must have just got him with the rolling high enough with the skeletons to die.
I was so disappointed. I was just trying to get this unit off, and then you were crumbling, and I was slowly just whittling away, and just So ended up being quite a big win to the Tomb Kings.
Yeah. So, I had. I think the only what did we do? You had that unit down to not much, but I'd only lost the Sharpty and the
Necros.
The Necro things. Yeah, it felt closer for 3 turns. I know I was killing those skeletons, but I was like, at some point, his guy's going to get in there or whatever. But they're just these guys. The chariots just whittled away, and I was able to do a rises on. I must have been able to do a rises on them. So I flew. You can see my Necro dudes up there. I was healing the chariots back. But it was interesting.
Yeah.
What did we find then? So what was the biggest takeaways for you guys sort of playing the game in general, in terms of rules, or was there anything that really stuck out? Nothing specific.
Just
level 3, level 4.
The magic was probably the biggest thing to learn. Yeah, just in terms of trying to avoid being overwhelmed.
100%.
Having a level 4 or level 3 accessible to do dispelling.
Yeah, that was my biggest thing. I was just I'm gonna have to put a level 4 into the list, or at least there is a few magic items that I've seen, and I think Tomb Kings have them where they get extra dice or +1 to dispel or +1 for casting hexes, and so I could see there's some ways you might, do a level 3, but for 30 points you might as well just get the level 4 rather than spend the 20 points or whatever on the magic item. I can get the extra spell. So But yeah, I don't know.
Well, is there a way of building a magic defense that doesn't require a level 4 in the game? Like, as in, or a level 3, like, a Lord level caster? Like, can you
Yeah,
get
like just a hero dude with those extra. Well, that's the thing. I guess if you went a level 2 and you had like +3 to dispel, and if there was some other items that give you, say, a reroll, you could maybe do it, but you obviously got that lack of range as well. When we did the Orc and Goblin review, there was a few like that where they added +3 to the range as well. So you're sort of getting into that 21 inch, so it's a bit closer. But it's still, I don't know.
Surely, it got play tested. Surely there's just we're only early days, but there must just be things with this. If you're in combat, you can't do all these abilities and things.
And we're not playing it right yet. And
I just feel like everyone's just getting their head around it, and there's going to be a lot of ways to mitigate this. It's not going to be quite as powerful law.
I hope so, because if we're in a situation where you have to have a level 4 to have some degree of magic defense, I don't know. I feel like that's a bit disappointing. Whereas, because you previously had the option of either go quite heavy with the magic you want, but you could also just get away with a scroll caddy and still have a reasonable amount of defense without being completely overwhelmed.
Yeah, it's because they nerfed the dispel. Like, what is the scroll now? I haven't even looked at it. Isn't it just like +3 to roll?
What did it say? D3 or something? Yeah.
D3. Yeah.
Was it 3?
I think you roll an extra dice and then take the 2 highest. When you dispel.
Oh, okay. Right,
yeah. So if you that's still not good enough. Like unless you got a plus on the. Well, I guess it was like if you're still level 2 and you're rolling. I don't know. I feel like if you're trying to spell level 4, who's rolled like a 9 + 4 and then hit 13 or something.
Yeah.
You're still going to really struggle to dispel that on a level 2.
Yeah,
even if you're rolling extra dice and taking the 2 highest. I don't know.
Yeah, Gummo was struggling. Like everything, I was shutting down all your stuff, and you were just struggling to get anything off. As in, and then obviously struggling to dispel mine. It was just, it's just too powerful. It's just continuous,
Yeah, because the one I really wanted to get off, and I didn't get off at all. I don't think is just like that reroll to 1s.
Yeah.
Remember that one, like one of the law ones from the Tomb King one, because I think that that's useful, obviously, with the shooting plus even just the combat. But I just could never get it off. The fireball's the only one.
Did you get a chance to try and cast it and couldn't cast it, or
a couple of times? But then he was just dispelling it.
He was dispelling it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I was rolling either high. I think most of the time I was rolling high enough, but you could just easily dispel it.
Well, that's the thing. It's also a lot harder to get the spell off in the first place when you've only got +1 or +2. Like it's a lot less reliable.
Yeah,
it really is compounding.
Yeah,
that effect of the pluses on the cast roll and the spell roll.
Yeah, it's just and I guess I did know about that, but I totally forgot about the whole front arc thing. So definitely have to pay. Like they're the things you're going to have to pay attention to make sure that they're not getting as much power as.
That's true. That's true. It definitely mitigates it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The front arc and then being in combat as well.
Yeah.
Those are your 2.
Yeah, a lot of the hexes, not all a lot of the hexes are not self. Yeah, you're casting it on a unit somewhere, and you just can't do it then, or or an enhancement, whatever it's called. What's it called?
Enchantment.
Enchantment. Yeah.
Almost the same word.
Yeah. The other. So just while we're there's the Facebook group chat around what things are getting wrong. I was thinking 2 YouTube channel videos that might be interesting too would be what are the main gotchas if you came from 8th, and what are the main gotchas if you came from 6th type thing in terms of the differences, because there's each there is some sort of 8th type things in here around moving characters into combat and stuff like that, and the fact that you can do a lot more reforms than you could in 6th, but 6th also, but then 8th has differences, it's probably the whole movement, I don't know, just it feels like there's a lot more 6th. Yeah. Overall, it's more 6th,
Like the combat,
not step up and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So, but I did see with that Facebook post that was talking about, what are some of the gotchas and things. The flea one was, I mean, we didn't have any of that. So we haven't even played things like, fleeing and giving ground. I mean, we gave ground, but you don't fall back in good order and stuff.
Oh, yeah, you
undead.
guys are just all just undead shambling around.
Yeah.
So I thought, though, I saw one of them, which I don't know if you guys read it right initially, but I certainly didn't. Like the whole fleeing thing it's at least different. I'm pretty sure different to 6s and 8s. Like it's not a roll. Like it's not a
What are you
roll off.
talking about?
Like when you flee in combat, like you break a unit and they run away.
Yeah.
Or even if they just run away. But more so when you're in combat. In combat when you break someone, generally in 8th, and I think it's 6th, the same as like you roll your dice, and if you beat them before you even move them, they're dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this is actually
You have to contact.
You actually have to move them.
Yeah, everything just pivots on the spot, doesn't it? And then you just measure and see if you contact them after they've moved their flee roll.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. But you obviously, as a person fleeing, can bump through your own troops and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think there's going to be a lot more of that, positioning. If you've got a unit, if they might run but you want to keep them, then put another unit behind them, because if they bump, then the other, the pursuer's going to run into the other unit. Now, it might not help because they might still kill that other unit and still, like they did for you, Josh, then overrun and kill the guy anyway. Is that what happened with your general? With his general doing that? Yeah.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was trying to do. It didn't help.
Yeah, so probably doesn't matter, but it is a bit different. Like I have to remember that, and it's you caught me because you rolled higher. Well, no, they've got to actually move the figures.
Yeah. And the opposite, the inverse of that is when you have someone in the front and the rear, and they're fleeing. The guy, the unit in the rear, just pivots on the spot, and they just moves from there.
Yeah,
as well.
so they're a lot closer.
Yeah, a lot closer. So they, they will pretty much reliably chase whatever the unit is down, because they have to roll like 4 or 5 inches less than the unit in the front.
Yeah.
Which, if anything, just rewards the fact you've got a rear charge, which I feel like is
that's good.
Valid,
Yeah, it is
you should be rewarded for having a unit in the rear. It's definitely different. Definitely different. 6th or 8th.
Yeah, so I don't know. I liked it. It felt like Warhammer, and I just got to get in and play it more. And yeah, I know they FAQ'd it the other day, but I feel like there's some obvious ones that they haven't actually FAQ'd yet.
Yeah,
people are debating about, but there doesn't seem to be too many. So
yeah. I feel like I'm still spinning about when you can reform and not, after combat, or what moves far, when and where. Like, I feel like once I have a physical book, I can sit down and study it.
Yeah,
I feel better almost. Like, I don't know. It'd be nice to be able to study the rules when I have a physical.
So I think, and you'll have to look at that YouTube video if you haven't watched it. The only two, so I did get technically that follow up wrong in terms of when you can sort of save yourself from a flank or a rear by turning. The other one I got wrong, which is actually not in the rule book, but it's in the FAQ, is when you overrun. So originally I thought it was you get to choose to overrun, or you can test to restrain and reform. But if you overrun, then and you catch them, then that's it. You're sort of stuck. You went forward 2d6 or whatever, and you caught them, and they're dead. Sort of not caught them, but like just overrun. But the rule is you still get to test for a reform after that as well, and it's in the FAQ. Or maybe it was on the flea catch. I can't remember which one it is, but it's one of those ones where it's not obvious in the actual rule book, but it's FAQ'd in the FAQ, and I missed that when I was reading the rules. So there's the only two places I think in that video that you couldn't test for a reform is it's like when you've been surprised. So like if you declare a charge and then suddenly there's another unit in front of you because they were fleeing and then you hit them. If you destroy them, you can't reform, because they said there's some statement in the rulebook about like, it was sort of, they're in shock for running into this unit they didn't think they were going to do, so they can't reform after that. And then there's another case where you don't reform. I can't remember which one it was, but yeah. But it seems to be a lot more times where you can reform and test to reform.
So if you do overrun, you can still reform Is that what you're
After,
saying?
yeah.
After you've done that.
That's a 9th age rule too. But it's
Okay.
weird because,
Alright,
like, to
'cause I
me,
thought you couldn't.
overrun
Yeah.
overrun used to always be like on the charge, but it seems like you can still overrun if you destroy the unit at any point, sort of thing.
Yeah, right. So
Like
most of the time you can do a reform then.
It seems to be. There didn't seem to be many times where you
Except
couldn't.
for a few
Yeah.
exceptions. Yeah. A few
Yeah,
rare
because
exceptions.
we had a couple of times where you destroy the undead unit, turn a turn and a half later or something, and we were trying to find where you could reform, but it was in the overrun rule.
Yeah, well, I think that is the biggest change that I've seen. Where
Yeah,
I mean, at least rules as written, the overrun is not an overrun on a charge. It's literally just called overrun. It's like when you destroy a unit outright,
Yeah,
you can
just
choose to overrun. So
at
even if
any
it's
point, yeah.
you're hacking away for 4 rounds of combat, you
Yeah.
finally beat them, you can do a 2d6 overrun.
Yeah.
Which is totally different. It's never been like that, I don't think.
Yeah, it was always on a charge.
Yeah. Just trying to find where the... Yeah, if a unit completely destroys its enemy in combat and makes an overrun move, can it attempt to reform after moving? Yeah, unless a pursuit into a fresh enemy, yes. A unit that overrun makes a normal pursuit move, and since its enemy had already been wiped out, it may attempt to reform. So that's sort of missing.
That's so confusing in the rule book. I totally missed that part of the FAQ.
Yeah.
Because that's having that. Yeah, okay. That makes some more sense. That makes them more consistent. Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's not intuitive. Because sometimes you can reform, sometimes you can't. And it's just like, if you overrun, you can't. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think it's still worth that video I've done is pretty useful. I just feel like I might redo it again with one of you.
Oh, yeah.
That get it all right and I'll keep it up to date because I think you're just going to need it. It's bloody confusing.
Yeah.
You'll eventually work it out. But
that how-to is one of the best how-tos I've seen, I think.
Yeah.
For that sort of thing.
Yeah. It feels a bit fiddly, but I feel like the more we play, the better, easier it'll get.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Well, it's only game 1, isn't it? So
exactly.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
And I'm surprised you did 2,000. So how long did it take you, Josh? Wasn't too bad.
Finished at like 1:30. Started at 10:30. Maybe 3 hours.
Wow, that's really good.
Not too bad.
Yeah. It's really good.
No mucking around, guys.
We're
gonna crack on through. I guess it helped that there wasn't much combat in the central lane because I thought someone was ethereal and I
just got
didn't engage with him when I probably should have. Oh man.
Yeah. It's just
the thing was, like, as much as 2000, it almost looks like from the photos you guys have, like the army size was similar. Like,
well, we did 600 points, so
yeah, exactly. So, but like almost like a lot of that 400 points went into characters more than anything, and then for some reason that maybe doesn't necessarily
it wouldn't have been
a longer game.
Yeah, it might not have been much longer, probably. Yeah, I don't know. Some of the units might have been a bit bigger. Like my Necro Knights might have been a bit bigger. Maybe a couple of Tomb Scorpions and some more magic, but that's about it. Oh, probably, I mean, well, 2,000 points, we could have had a Lord and a level 4.
Yeah.
So probably would have made a difference there in terms of just... But again, Andrew could have had more as well. So...
you both get more stuff.
Yeah.
Magul King, the Strigoi, is kind of like a lord, so I kind of had that in there.
Yeah. Oh, he's good, that's for sure. He's staying in the list, isn't he?
Yeah, I just need to send him in with some support. So
we tried. I think the dude failed the charge, wasn't it? The Valgolf.
Oh, no, was just some infantry support.
So yeah.
Maybe put him in a unit or something.
Yeah.
Spoiler for next time.
Cool. Anyway, it was a really good game. I mean, it was good to... I just like the fact that we're concentrating on one, like learning all the same thing and just seeing everyone come back into the community and everyone's still, obviously there's a lot of discrepancies around how things are. Like, have you seen the Empire build where there's a magic item that like... there's a spell that goes off and it gives you 2d6 hits at your
or
whatever it is, I can't remember. Your
doppelganger, I think it's called.
that one, and then you've got
There's a Mace of Hellstrom, is it?
Yes,
That's like
those
strength
two.
10.
And then there's a
multiple
debate
wounds,
whether or not
D6
that
or
one's supposed
something.
to just be one hit still. But then, so depending on which
yeah.
way you do it, you end up with 2d6 strength 10 hits, like just wipe stuff out.
That each multiple wounds 6 on each of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. So there's going to be these ones that are like that people are going to be still trying to work it out until they get an actual FAQ, and they're just, so there's some builds that go crazy and then maybe they get toned back down. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, hopefully we see an FAQ in the next 6 weeks.
They're probably going to have to do, like, if they say bring orcs out in the next month or so, they're probably going to have to do another one. Like, they'll end up having an FAQ, those books that come out and stuff anyway, probably.
Yeah.
So hopefully we do see that.
Yeah, that ought to run. I mean, yeah, Nick's now talking about putting his level 4 on a Star Dragon and making that entire thing ethereal. Which is like, it's just like, what can I make ethereal next time, Josh? That's so ridiculous. Oh man.
Cool. Anyway, is there anything else you guys want to talk about, or we close this one out? It was good to get the games in and just keep going with Old World now.
Yeah, I reckon we just we get
books.
Get the books, maybe get that bat rep out in video form.
Yes. No, I want to do that this week, and I think I'm going to try talk to Sean, one of our patrons. He's a high elf player. He wanted to come on, so hopefully end of the week we can do our faction review with the Patreon as well. And
that'll work like that. The book review, that'll be good.
That'd be good. So we'll probably have that out by the end of the week, hopefully, and then so we'll probably be getting 2 or 3 videos out a week on YouTube, hopefully. So but if you guys are listening, you got some other topics you want us to cover on them, let us know, and we'll try and smash it out. And then we'll try and get a game in the next week or so.
Okay.
Sounds good. Cool, guys. Oh, well, thanks for listening to another Old World Fanatics. And if you enjoyed this, obviously leave us on the podcast side, leave us 5-star review. On the YouTube side, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. And if you have subscribed, click play, press mute, close down your browser, minimize it and leave it run all night. They'd be really thankful. I'll keep saying that. But and then obviously, just chat to us on our socials, Old World Fanatics on all the main platforms. And if you are in Australia, we have an Old World Australia Discord as well. So you just go to Old World Australia Facebook group. There's a link on there. If you're not in that, jump on there because we've got a bunch of chats happening over there as well. Guys, anything else, Andrew? Josh, otherwise I'll see you next time.
We're good.
I'll chat to you through the week. See you guys.
Ciao. Thanks, guys.